Good morning, everyone. It is the first snowfall of the season here at Andersen Acres, and the cats can hear me and they're coming for a snuggle. Everyone's doing just fine. Rabbits are perched up on their houses. They love the winter. They do so well. Loki is in her little house. She doesn't adore the winter, but that's okay. When it gets really cold, she'll probably come inside. Those two will stay out all winter, just because of who they are. So let's go check on everyone else and see how they're doing this fine fall morning that happens to be snowing. And we'll talk a little bit about what we do in the winter. So if we come over here, we can look at the quail. Some of them are outside. They do just fine in the winter. They are winter hardy. We'll come back to them on my way out. Cats are fine. Cats are just fine. So we'll start in here with the horses, goats, chickens, you know, the guys who are supposed to be in here. So let's start with the Spot and her babies. They're just fine, by the way. She keeps them warm. They will be, one is out right now behind her. Oh, there's one peeking out. So if we come over here, you might see a couple peeking out through her feathers. They're fine. She'll keep them warm. They're illegal anyway. Oh, just so cute, little baby's sticking his head out. They're fine. They're illegal babies anyway. They're not supposed to be here. They will be completely fine. So going over here, we got a cat. That's Medieval. That's one of our silky roosters, Ash. This playhouse, by the way, I haven't mentioned. This playhouse is for the goats and the chickens. So the young goat, Arwen, bounces around it all the time, and the chickens like to roost on the edges. So that's for them. So we go over here. Shadowfax is looking dirty because this is a really wet snow because it's actually not very cold. Hi, buddy. Good boy. Got a little goat here. So the horse and the goats are absolutely fine in the winter. We put hay in that instead of over here. Well, we alternate back and forth. You know, doesn't really matter. This is a feed pan. Go away. So we put feed over there. We put feed over here. Hi. You're a beautiful boy, Shadowfax. Look at how muddy he is. He loves it when it snows. This cat. He loves the cats. He loves to roll in the mud. That's like his goal in life. He's a beautiful little Minnie. Yes, we love you. Kissing the camera. That's fun. Don't lick it. Come on. You're a beautiful boy. Yes, we love you so much. You're such a good horsey. Yes. Okay, so he does fine in the winter. Thank you, Lily. You'll see he's starting... I can't put the camera somewhere else. You can see he's starting to get a nice thick winter coat. No, you want to lick the camera. So he's getting a nice thick winter coat to keep him warm in our 40 below weather. Okay, fine. You're beautiful. We love you. He'll be fine. His legs are muddy. You've seen him in, thank you, in videos before. He's not this color, but good. So he'll do just fine. We just have to replace his water. We use these blue water buckets all year round. What we do is we have 4 of them. There's only 3 lined up here. There's 1 inside their shelter. But we have 4 of them. So we do when it gets really, really cold and things are freezing, we fill up 2 of them with water, bring them out, switch them for the buckets that may or may not be frozen. Thank you. That was a nice kiss on my arm. And then we take the frozen ones inside, just put them in the shower for a couple hours. You just leave them, you don't have to run water or anything. And after a couple hours, the ice inside does loosen up enough that you can just dump the ice out outside where no one's going to walk. You're eating my shirt. And you just keep switching the buckets. We do it 4 times a day. Eating my shirt. I'm going to have no shirt left. So we do it 4 times a day just because we like to make sure everyone has fresh, unfrozen water. We don't have to do it right now because it's actually not that cold. It's a really, really wet, goopy snow. So as for the goats, you'll see Arwen is starting to get pretty fuzzy. She actually does not mind getting wet and being outside and playing. Hi, Gwen, my baby. This is my baby Gwen. So for water, she has the same thing. Okay, they share water, the horse and the goats. So go back this way. Lily does not come out of the barn if it's snowing or raining. So we don't worry about her. She's getting pretty fuzzy too. Everyone's putting on their winter coat. So for the chickens, stop biting the back of my shirt, you little demon. You're a demon. Fine. So for the chickens, what we do in the winter is not much. When I first got chickens, I was freaked out that they were going to freeze to death. They don't. They used to be in this coop that first year. I wrapped the heck out of it. They had clear tarps so that they would have a greenhouse effect. I was afraid they would freeze. They didn't. After a couple years, I kind of backed off a little bit at a time, and now I don't do anything. This barn is insulated, but I don't have to do anything different. The only thing I change is I move the roosting bars so that they're not in front of the windows once the temperature is consistently below freezing. You'll notice there is a heat lamp up there. Someone made a comment about that when I said I don't heat my coop. Someone said, well, what about the heat lamp? Yes, there's a heat lamp up there. It's installed just in case I ever need it. I have never actually needed it. Not ever. So, little goat. Stop it. So I have never actually needed that. It's there in case it ever dips to 60 below, which has not happened very often, and it really hasn't happened since I was a little girl. But you never know. So, it's up there just to take the chill off. The other thing for winter is we don't close this door very often. Yeah, we close it at night for protection, but it literally has... What are you doing? Now it's Shadowfax, there's a goat. This is just nonsense, guys. 5 cats. You can't climb that because you're weird. It's not my fault. Thank you, buddy. Anyway, we don't close this door very often in the winter. Yes, at night. Stop biting it. Sheesh. Yes, at night, because we don't want them to get taken by critters. We don't want rats coming in here at night or anything like that. Otherwise, this door is open almost every single day in the winter. We have excellent vents up there. This relates to the door, I promise. And we have windows on either side directly across from each other. There's another vent on the back of the barn directly across from that vent. So we have plenty. We do not close these windows. Ever. They stay open. It doesn't matter what the temperature is. Because more important than keeping them warm is keeping them dry and ventilated. So, hi. Anyway, so what you want is you want a coop that keeps them dry. So we have excellent shingles, everything, plenty of caulking all the way around. No water gets in that barn. You want to keep them ventilated, lots of breezes, right? Because you don't want them warm and wet. You want them cool and dry. Much better to be 40 below and a dry coop with plenty of ventilation than keep them at around 0, but everything's wet and mucky in there. Because having chickens, they're mucky. I'm not talking about their poop. I'm talking about when they breathe, they generate a lot of moisture. What are you doing? Oh my God. I'm having issues. Now I got mud on my pants. These are like my good pants. Yes, my yellow pants with zebras on them are my good pants. I'm a farm girl. What do you want? But so you want to keep lots of ventilation. When it comes to water, it's really... Excuse me, butthead. It's really not cold enough to switch waters yet. So we're still using this. There's water in it. It's not frozen because it's literally just at freezing right now. It's going to warm up during the day. Mama and her babies are just fine. She just sat down to warm them up for a few minutes. And then they're just going to follow her. No big deal. Everyone's fine. The water's not frozen yet. But when the water does freeze... See these black feed pans? We love them. This one is small. The one for the chickens is in the shed still. So this is a small one that I use for rabbits and quail and such. So what we do with these is we use these as waterers. We do the same thing we do with the horse buckets. Fill them up 4 times a day with water. You come back out and it's 40 below, so these have frozen. All you do, you flip them upside down, stomp on them a couple of times. The ice falls out. You pick up the ice, toss it over the fence where no one will trip on it. Gwen's there, I hear a rooster. And you carry on. You fill up your feed pan with water and move on. We do that for chickens. We do that for quail. I don't tarp anymore. I did at one point, I don't now. Cats on the fence. But I don't tarp anymore because I was locking in moisture and it turned out to be a very bad idea. So it's better to keep airflow. I just moved my roosting bars outside, out away from the window so the chickens don't get drafty. You want to keep them warm, sort of, right? Not warm. Thank you. So their version of warm is, look at all those feathers. Their version of warm and our version of warm is different. Their version of warm is dry, thank you, and out of the wind. They are dry and out of the wind. They're happy. Guys, I can't reach the latch because you guys suck. Okay. You guys suck. Sorry, I'm just having trouble with cats on the gate. There's 2 of you on the gate. What's wrong with you guys? 3 of you on the gate now. No wonder I can't get in and out. So, these little guys down here will be okay. There's one outside for them. Oh, there's another one outside. Good for them. So there's one outside. They're fine. It's not cold yet. I know they're young. They're about, well, they're silky. So that little silky in the corner, he's about, oh, I don't know, 10 weeks old. He's small. We breed small silkies. So he's about 10 weeks old. They're fine. It's really not cold in here. It really, really isn't. It looks snowy and it's a little bit damp because it's still so warm. So they're fine for now. They will grow up and enter the adult coop in about another 2 weeks. They'll be big enough to be released into the big coop. Back to the quail. Quail are fantastic in the winter. Hi, guys. Quail need almost nothing. I'm not kidding about that. The first year we had them, I had them wrapped up in tarps. I didn't want them getting cold. I didn't have to do that. Thank you, Damien and Princess Orange. Yes. But they're completely winter hardy. Same idea with the water. We use the rubber waterer and just bash out the ice. Thank you, Tigger. We just bash out the ice. Just grabbing my feed pan. This is not the feed pan for the barn. I was just carrying it around. So, over to the rabbits. Rabbits do really well in the winter. I'm going to do a rabbit care video when the snow is stopped because it's kind of annoying. But rabbits do really, really well in the winter. There's Slate there, hanging out, grooming himself. That's a pile of leaves for them to play in. They don't need any special accommodations in the winter. So I used to, again, tarp hutches and all that. I don't have to do that. They have dog houses to stay warm. Okay, so they have dog houses. She has that little house. She may come in partway through the winter just because she's kind of grouchy with other rabbits, so she doesn't really like to be with anyone. There she is, poking her head out. Got snagged on wire. But she doesn't really like other rabbits, so alone, I don't like them to be alone. Slate has Mr. Otterton to cuddle up to. You notice the cats are in the bottom of the cat house now, which is wonderful. Mr. Otterton is actually in the dog house way on that side. I can see his tail poking out. So rabbits do really, really well. They don't need any extra warmth. They have the fur that they need. They need at least one friend, though. They need somebody... Hi. They need somebody to cuddle up to. So he cuddles up to Mr. Otterton. I haven't found her a friend she likes yet. So Loki may have to come in the house when it gets really cold. She's fine by herself till well below freezing, but she can't handle minus 40 without a buddy to snuggle up to. You can't come out. It's not your turn. I'll explain about whose turn it is in a video about actually rabbits. But we do the same thing with water for them. Feed pan. Fill it up with water. Now, they use their feed pans all year. So if you look, you can see a feed pan in that pen. I'll go around the other side. Just going to walk through this gooey snow. It's very gooey because it's barely freezing right now. So it's quite gooey. So you can actually see, he's not going to come out of his house right now just because. But you can see a feed pan there on the ground. That's his water dish. There's another one for these two boys over there. That's their water dish. This guy in this pen does not like the snow. He's going to stand there. But he's a Flemish, so he's actually fine. Flemish can handle just about anything you throw at them. They can't handle being wet, so that's why he's in his house. He does not like getting wet. So, same idea here. Feed pans when it's below freezing. It isn't freezing yet. We do up their pellet intake in the winter just to keep them chubby. I think my son's already started doing that because that's one chubby bunny. That is a chubby bunny. Slate, you're chubby. She's a little chubby, but we're not convinced she's not pregnant. There may have been an accidental breeding a couple weeks ago. So she may be chubby because she might have some babies in a couple weeks. That's not that big a deal either. Again, I can move her into the house. I don't like having babies outside in the winter. I hear our cat Winter. Winter, pss, pss, pss. Come here. Pss, pss, pss. That's how okay. This cat has a brother whose name is Yeti, who lives behind those trees at my best friend's house. And you can tell them apart because one is deaf and one is not. So Winter turned around when I called to him. That means this is Winter. You don't see him in too many videos because he actually doesn't like the camera. But he is one of our cats. He's wonderful. He's a bit of a grouch, but that's okay. But that's about it for this video. Winters are not a big deal here on the farm. It can be a little inconvenient for us because we have to do all the feed pans and bash out waters, and we got to do that 4 times a day. So it can be a little annoying, but for the animals, it's actually no big deal. They're pretty good as long as they're not used to heat. So I don't like to use heat because then they don't develop the proper winter coat to survive. And if you're using heat and suddenly the heat goes out, oh my God, temperature shock. There are a couple of cats sleeping in the bottom of the cat house already. Fantastic. So they're actually fine. This is more inconvenient for them than an actual cold snap will be because this is wet. So once the temperature drops a little bit more, they'll actually be far happier about it. So that's about it for today. We are going to call it a day. And maybe come out later if it stops snowing because this wet stuff's annoying me. If it stops snowing, we might come and do a rabbit video. Otherwise, we're going back inside to do some baking. Have a good day. Bye-bye.